welcome, Dewar. It's such a pleasure to have you and to welcome you to Pet Industry Rising. I am so glad that you're joining me today because you are the company owner. I'm one of these people who are actually helping the pet industry to evolve further. And I'm super interested to see what perspective you're bringing to the table about our industry. And of course, we want to know who you are, what you're doing, and what your great product is. So why don't you introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name is Dewar Gaines. I'm the founder of Gaines Family Farmstead. We're a family-owned, family-operated dog treat company out of Birmingham, Alabama. We specialize in making single and limited ingredient all-natural treats and have almost a 100% American supply chain. We have a few things that we import like pig ears, but everything else is 100% made in America, sourced in America. We like to know our supply chain really, really intimately. So we know a lot of the farmers that we source our materials, our ingredients from, and try to work with as many family-owned operations as possible.
That is fantastic. Very much in trend too, right? I remember a time when all of those snacks and all of those treats came from Asia. Remember
Absolutely.
these times? And then, everybody started going, no more Asian treats. So you're full on in that kind of phase, right? Where you basically American product.
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
Anything under the Gaines Family Farmstead logo has a 100% American supply chain.
Fabulous. When did you start the business, Dewar?
I quit my job 9 years ago in 2 days, and we launched about 8.5 years ago.
Fabulous. What made you do what made you take that step? It's a very courageous step. And me being a decisions expert, I'm super curious about how do people, make a choice like that? How did you decide to do that?
Well, so I've always had the entrepreneurial bug. I
Good.
had businesses my entire life, whether it's just a side hustle or, my parents joke I had my first lemonade stand when I was 3. Long history of trying to figure out how to make money. But I actually lost a dog to rawhide poisoning, which I didn't even know was a thing. And it enlightened us to the ingredients we were feeding for our other dogs. And that made me look at the products that we were purchasing more intimately. And then my background is actually in branding and marketing. So I used to be hired by people to grow brands, develop brands, manage brands. I've worked with everyone from Sally Joe on the corner that has $1,500 a month all the way up to, billion-dollar companies, managing multiple different aspects of it. And one of my clients in the past was in the pet space. I fell in love with the pet space. And thought I saw some competitive opportunity to do it better. And so I decided to quit my very, very comfortable career and get into making dog treats.
Wow. So how has that been going for you?
It's really good right now, but there's definitely been some tough times. When we launched, we used to buy 200 pounds of raw sweet potatoes every morning and hand slice them and hand dehydrate them. Very arduous process, could make like 20 pounds of of finished goods a day, sometimes 30, depending on the product. And then we'd go to farmers markets at night and sell them, go to dog parks, go door to door at independent pet shops, selling onesie, twosie stores at a time, and have really that true grassroots Americana history.
Yeah, beautiful.
Now, proud to say we've evolved quite a bit from there.
Yes, and I think if I remember well, you were one of the first ones who started really with focusing also on sweet potatoes, right?
We were not one of the first, but we were. In fact, we weren't even one of the first 5 or 6, but we were one of the ones that. My background being in branding and marketing, I did a really deep dive actually with Package Facts, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And we noticed some trends about 8 years ago in their early phases, specifically around humanization, single ingredient, American supply chain, the prevalence of folks wanting to purchase from family owned, and a few others that are kind of secrets. But we we really capitalized on that, and we created our entire brand persona and our messaging completely around those core competencies. And I think that's, while we weren't one of the first, we're definitely one of the premier at this point, I would say.
Yes, and that maybe when I say one of the first, it's more about visibility. I think what you managed to gain very quickly is visibility, right? Whereas the space was very commoditized before, there was suddenly a branding, approach in that whole theme, which is great.
I like to say that we're a sales and marketing firm that happens to sell dog treats that has a really good tech stack. And I mean, that's,
yes,
at the core, we are a sales and marketing firm, and we really like to capitalize on what we perceive as trends that are going to be long lasting and impactful.
Oh, I'm going to get back to that. Before I start asking you about that, though, the trend part, which is really super interesting, is what made you fall in love with the industry? You said close to 8-9 years ago, you fell in love with the industry. What are the factors that made you fall in love with the industry?
I have been in conference rooms with folks that run huge businesses, and it's stuffy and sleepy and
dry.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1,000 different ways to describe it. And I had a client that was in the pet space, got to know their business, helped them grow their business. And through them, I fell in love with the space. I can't remember the last time I put on a button-down shirt and a jacket to go to a meeting. I'm wearing shorts and a polo right now and tennis shoes every day. There's dogs in our warehouse. I never have a meeting with a client that's contentious. It's like, okay, let's get a deal done. It's very easy. And I think the relaxed nature of the industry as a whole is what I really fell in love with. And I love dogs. I mean, I love animals, but dogs specifically.
Yeah, so do I. I'm a big, huge dog lover. So tell me, so when you say trends, so how do you observe trends? Because, the treat space, I mean, it is a crowded space. I mean, our spaces and kibble food and treats, I mean, these are crowded spaces. How do you do that? How do you innovate? What's your vision? How do you create a vision for yourself?
So going back to the fundamentals of our original thesis, single ingredient, limited ingredient, exceptional supply chain. We look at an enormous amount of data as to what's going on online, search trends, search volumes, impression rates, hot spots in the country for what's working and what's not. And then also we listen exceptionally well. So I think we're really well known for listening to our retail partners and innovating based off of what they're feeling, because while we can absorb all this data from everywhere, it's the retailers that are really engaging with the consumer. We look at economic trends. We develop economic arbitrage based off of existing trends. Like, for example, with pig ears, we launched pig ears a year and 2 months ago on Amazon. That's the one of 2 products that we don't make in the United States, and it's under a secondary brand. But we noticed how expensive pig ears were online and what they're selling for in a retail store. And we reverse engineered the supply chain. And now we are the number 10 best selling pig ear on Amazon. And we're one of the cheapest selling on Amazon. And we haven't spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising to do that. So we do a bunch of different things. But we also are projecting what we think trends will be based off of the feel. Like, you can get just an emotion that you can feel about the industry. And that's what's really...
You feel the markets, you feel the market, right?
I am a marketer at heart, yes.
Yeah. And what for you is, what is clear for you? Like, is there something that's super clear to you now for the moment? Like, where is this journey going? Do you have clarity on something specific in terms of the trends or the development of this industry?
I think so a couple of things. I think consumers are begging for high quality at a low, affordable price.
Mm-hmm.
I think the days of freeze dried are coming to an end. I think that that's quite a bubble right now. I think that there's great freeze dried business out there, and there's folks that are going to engage with that. But I think consumers are stretched, retailers are stretched, and freeze dry is a expensive dollar per ounce. So I think the consumers need that $9.99 price point. They want that $9.99, $12.99 price point. And that's something that we're feeling really heavily, and we've developed new products specifically for that to service that community of folks that need that price competitive product, but also really high end and functional.
So you have really developed, if I understand that well, you have really developed a good understanding about clarity around value for money.
Absolutely. Or what we perceive. And that's just based on what we hear from the market.
Right. Yeah. Goes back to that part where you said you're closely listening, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you, because, I'm always curious about a few of those. For me, that like clarity is one of my key core things. I always think, clarity beats certainty, because there is no certainty. The only thing we can kind of try and work on every day is to be clear what we're doing, clear if that what we're doing is serving our purpose, is serving our goal. So I think clarity is one of the things. The other thing for me is alignment. And what I mean by that is, sometimes you have to take decisions which are in alignment with where you want to go. That doesn't necessarily mean you get approval for it, right, from everybody and anybody. So how do you ensure, like you personally ensure, that your strategy is aligned with your values?
So my values are do what's best for the consumer.
Mm-hmm,
and I
nice.
think that's the core. Mm-hmm. Customer service, taking care of the consumer, security of supply chain so that we know we're feeding super premium. And at the base of everything we do, that's the fundamental aspect of our entire growth. And so there's an enormous amount of clarity about consumers getting what they want, and us providing that. And that, I think fundamentally, we've kind of a core competency of our business is the basics of our supply chain and understanding that consumer and feeding into that.
Nice.
So if that answers your question.
Yeah, so if I understand, no, totally it does. So if I understand it, let me just rephrase. So basically what you're saying is one of your key values is to deliver good, reliable quality. And that's something you would always be in alignment with in Absolutely. Everything you do. Yeah, that's a nice value to have. Absolutely. That's good. And do you think that's something that will drive your business forward in the future too? Do you think quality will be always one of those things that's really key?
It drives us every day.
And do you think it will also drive the new generations, like Generation Z?
I think that consumers, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And I think, so that's double-sided. When you look at the different generations, millennials fell in love with the family-owned.
Yes, totally.
Generations behind them care about ingredient panels, where the product is being sourced from. Is it sustainable? Is it upcycled? What's your packaging made out of? And if you note, we check all of those boxes. We can tell you the fields that our sweet potatoes were grown out of. We can tell you the farmer's name that raised our elk. We know the family that catches our wild-caught Alaskan salmon. That's fundamental in what we do.
That's value. That's another value right there. That is perfect. Yes. So in your career, I mean, if you started the business close to 9 years ago, you must have had lots of ups and downs, I guess. Like every entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur since 20 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Ooh. So, how do you deal with, are you a perfectionist?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not a micromanager at all.
Okay. Okay.
I tell my team,
you prefer momentum. You prefer the momentum, right? Run with it.
I thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
I had a college professor that said I mastered ADD. I'm very good at juggling. Like we're preparing product for launch 18 months from now. We're building the supply chain for that. And if we launch it before, great. But I tell my team regularly, we're trying to find the breaking point. Where's the top end? Let's break the infrastructure, chip the foundation, and then rebuild from there. So we are not perfectionists, but we do really, really good. We do really well at what we're really good at. If that makes if that aligns, I guess. Yes. So no, not a perfectionist at all.
So you're really going for momentum, right?
Absolutely. We are in a growth pattern right now that is fairy tale land for most brands, and that's it's hard to capture lightning in a bottle twice. And so while we have the momentum, we're throttling down.
Very nice. Very nice. Like if you use the future lens, where do you think, looking ahead, what excites you most about the future of this industry, or of what you've chosen, or what the path you've chosen?
I have some older friends in this industry that own brands also, and they get on to me for saying this, but this industry is sleepy.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
It lacks innovation. There's plenty of new products coming out, but it's the same thing, just with a new iteration and a new bag. It's controlled by private equity. So much of this business is controlled by private equity and
yes, by now. Yeah.
And how do you take care of your customer if you're answering to a private equity firm? If you're always worried about the bottom line and not what's best for the consumer, then you lose sight of that core value of really high-end product. And I think that's going to be a big thing that separates the new brands and emerging brands and the young brands. We innovate rapidly. We create quickly. We can launch something in the market. If we have a good opportunity on something and it's a product that we like, we can have it ready for market in 30 days. Find another big substantiated brand that can do that, and I'd like to meet their operations team, because I'm really proud of how quickly our team executes on a vision.
Beautiful.
So I think nimbleness is a separator for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at, I think you made a very good point. So yes, private equity is a very different ball game. When you say we're a bit, what do you say? You didn't say lazy. You said we're a bit slow.
The industry is slow.
Complacent, right? I would say we're a bit complacent as well, in a way, in this industry. So what would you change?
Nothing. I'm not lazy, I'm not sleepy, and I'm not complacent. So let everyone else be.
Yeah, okay, good one. So what role will AI play in that? Will that speed things up?
For us. Not everyone's adopting it. And
yes.
Every single person in our office, I walked into the office this morning and one of our team members was having a conversation vocally in the conference room with AI, talking about something they were working on. We use AI at scale. It's not where it needs to be to do what we ultimately envision it doing, but it is
super helpful.
An enormous amount of time every day.
Yes. Yes. Where do you think it will play the biggest role, also in terms of the consumer's choice? Let's put it this way.
If you're not optimizing today for AI optimization and you're still concentrating on SEO and all the old sleepy stuff, then I'm already 6 months ahead of you. I'm telling you, all competitors, hear me now loud and clear. AI is going to be very powerful in terms of search. AI is already very powerful in terms of content creation. AI is a great conglomerator of data. And we get a lot of data from the market, and we utilize AI to consolidate and streamline that data.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really powerful. And the folks that are using it, where it is today is so different from where it was 60 days ago. We pumped out 50 pieces of content in an afternoon, which would have taken us days. Oh, well, our newest product line is 100% designed by AI. Our packaging, everything. The brand story. I mean, it does help that I have a background to feed into that.
Of course, it's all about that, right? So yes. Oh, that is, that's absolutely interesting and exciting. So tell us, where is your product? Where do you buy your product? Are you counting on big box? Are you counting on, independent retail? Where are you distributing? How are you distributing?
We're in 15 distributors across the country.
Okay.
All regional. We don't work with any national distributors at this time.
Okay. Ones who shall not be named here. Yes, clearly. Okay. Yes.
Our bread and butter in retail is with independent pet. Distribution is a interesting world right now. It's evolving. I think the good ones will survive, but I do think we'll see more fall off after animal supply. I think there's a couple more that are in perilous positions. I think I think there will be more and more distributors that drop the pallet optimization and move to more UPS and freight like that. So we're in 1,500 or so independent pet shops. We sell to several large regional chains. We have another brand that we sell into TJ Maxx and Home Goods and all those guys.
So you did differentiate the brands. You did a brand differentiation there.
Nice. Yes. I mean, we still have, like, if we have some short dated stuff, we'll sell. But we do differentiate the brands. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's very visionary too. It's very interesting. You were mentioning Amazon before. So is that like a channel you would build on in the future, or is that something where you go?
In May of this year, we turned all digital advertising off, except for Amazon. 100% of our digital ad budget went into Amazon in May. And then in July, we started advertising on Chewy.com. We are not doing any Meta advertising or any Google advertising at all. I actually believe the future of digital advertising is in live selling and live shopping and live streaming. I'm fervently of the opinion that that is the future of all digital. We plan to have as many as 20 hours of live streaming happening by Q1 a week next year.
Wow.
We're currently doing between 6 and 10. There's a whole new set of KPIs and performance metrics: revenue per hour, new customers per hour, net profit per minute, insane amount of data, repeat customer behavior. It's the future of digital in terms of website is definitely in live shopping.
Is live shopping something would you consider like a TikTok shop, live shopping?
Well,
kind of, right?
I consider live shopping me or one of my team members getting behind the camera and saying, "This is our sweet potato bone. It is single ingredient. Bang, 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 bang. Offer a deal, make a conversion."
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
It's impossible to engage with a consumer at that level of intimacy. And there's something psychological. People love their screens. And
they're in front of their screens all day too.
Absolutely. And there's a level of comfort with swiping their thumb and making a transaction. There's a reason QVC and Home Shopping Network were so successful for so long, and still are, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
You got to pick up the phone, or you got to click the screen and download the app. And
but here you have everything in hand.
Right.
Absolutely. Dewar, this has been time was flying. I didn't want to hold you for too long. If you could make a wish for the industry, what would be the wish to just finalize our interview at this point?
Wish for the industry. That's tough. Get out of my way. And I'm very serious about that. We're going to be a monster very soon.
It could also be a vision for the industry.
Less consolidation.
Okay. Yeah.
More innovation and less consolidation. And consumer consciousness. Being wary and concerned about what the consumer wants and not what's best for your bottom line. I guess that's like a vision of what it could be, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I think that's a competitive arbitrage. So, but I guess that it works if it works.
Yeah, but it's kind of very aligned with what you said before, right? I think we can all use more visionary innovation and more, I think a more broad-minded approach as a whole to the industry.
Very fair.
Right?
I liked your idea of collaboration too.
Yes.
There's plenty of shelves in the country and around the world, and there's plenty of shoppers. There's a lot more opportunity for collaboration, but the good old boy network doesn't really like that very much. So I think collaboration amongst emerging brands and helping other emerging small brands. I mean, I can't tell you how many people gave me a little bump along the way just because I'm easy to work with, I guess. I don't know, but yeah.
I can relate. Yes, I can relate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I think for the sake of the pet owner and the pet, it would be very helpful, right, to do that. So totally supporting your idea on that. Thank you, Dewar, for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It was a real pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon again.
Yes, ma'am.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.